Welcome, truth seekers and everyday philosophers. Today, we're diving deep into the murky waters of human nature, focusing on two powerful forces that can quietly wreak havoc on our relationships and peace of mind: envy and falsehood. Have you ever felt that uneasy pang when someone's praise seems just a bit too sweet, or had that gut feeling that a smile isn't quite reaching someone's eyes? We all encounter moments where something feels off. The ancient Stoics, masters of wisdom and resilience, had a lot to say about navigating these tricky social situations. They believed that by understanding human nature and cultivating our inner strength, we could protect ourselves from the harmful effects of envy and deceit. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who faced his fair share of challenges, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So let's equip ourselves with the Stoic tools to not only recognize envy and falsehood, but also rise above them, fostering genuine connections and inner peace. In this episode, we'll explore 13 Stoic concepts that will help you decode the subtle signs of envy and deceit, empowering you to navigate your relationships with wisdom and authenticity. Grab a cup of tea, settle into your favorite spot, and let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and Stoic empowerment. Let's get started with Lesson 1, the barbed compliment. Lesson 1, the barbed compliment. We've all been there. Someone gives you a compliment that sounds nice on the surface, but it leaves a weird aftertaste. It's like when someone says, "Hey, congrats on the new job. Must be nice not having to work so hard anymore." Ouch. That's a classic barbed compliment. Praise with a hidden jab, a bit of shade disguised as sunshine. The ancient Stoics were all about straight talk and authenticity. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, believed that true happiness is found in enjoying the present and being satisfied with what we have. In other words, the real joy comes from within, not from fishing for compliments or putting others down. But let's be real. The world isn't always a Stoic utopia. Envy and insecurity can lead people to use these backhanded compliments as a way to subtly undermine your success or make themselves feel better. It's like that frenemy who says, "Your new car is so cute. It's perfect for someone your size." They're trying to dim your shine, even as they pretend to admire it. So how do we deal with this? First, trust your gut. If a compliment feels off, it probably is. Second, channel your inner Stoic detective. Look for inconsistencies between their words and their body language. Are they smiling, but their eyes aren't crinkling? Is their tone flat, even though they're saying something supposedly enthusiastic? Finally, remember that your worth doesn't depend on someone else's approval. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So when you encounter a barbed compliment, don't let it get under your skin. Take a deep breath, acknowledge the awkwardness, and then move on. You've got better things to focus on, like building genuine connections with people who celebrate your successes without any hidden agenda. At the end of the day, true friendships are like fertile gardens. They need honesty, respect, and a whole lot of sunshine, not shade. Lesson 2, selective support. Have you ever experienced having a friend who is all about high fives and cheers when everything is going well, but suddenly disappears when you're facing a rough patch? That's selective support in action. It's like they're only present for the good times, but when things get tough, they're nowhere to be found. The Stoics, those wise folks from ancient Greece and Rome, were big on loyalty and having each other's backs. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, said it best: "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes. To act against one another is contrary to nature." True friends are your cheer squad and your shoulder to cry on, no matter what. But in the real world, we all know those fair-weather friends who only show up when it benefits them. They might be super excited about your promotion because it makes them look good, but when you're struggling with a personal issue, they're suddenly too busy to talk. It's like they're only invested in the relationship as long as it's serving their own needs. So, how can we navigate this tricky social landscape? First, pay attention to the patterns in your relationships. Does someone's enthusiasm for you fluctuate depending on your circumstances? Are they always there to celebrate your wins, but conveniently absent during your losses? Second, remember that true friendship, in the Stoic sense, is about virtue and acting for the common good. It's not about keeping score or using people for personal gain. As Epictetus put it, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Finally, don't be afraid to set boundaries and prioritize your well-being. If someone's selective support is causing you emotional distress, it's okay to distance yourself or limit your interactions with them. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you, rain or shine. Because just like a plant needs consistent sunlight and water to thrive, so do our relationships. Selective support is like giving a plant sporadic attention. It might survive for a while, but it'll never truly flourish. Choose your friends wisely and nurture those connections with the unwavering support and loyalty they deserve. Lesson 3. The body betrays when words and vibes don't match. You know that unsettling feeling when someone says one thing, but their body language tells a different story? It's like when a friend insists they're totally fine after a breakup, yet their eyes are red and puffy, barely holding back tears. This is a classic example of the body betraying the words, a clear sign that something isn't quite right. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who paid meticulous attention to the world around them, understood the importance of these subtle signals. They believed that understanding human nature included being attuned to the nonverbal cues people give off, even when they're trying to hide their true feelings. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "The chief task in life is simply this, to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I control." In other words, we can't control what other people say or do, but we can control how we perceive and react to it. A big part of this involves learning to read between the lines, to see beyond the surface, and to tune into those non-verbal cues that reveal what's going on. Imagine you're at a job interview. The hiring manager might be saying all the right things about how impressed they are with your resume, but their body language tells a different story. Their arms are crossed, their eyebrows are furrowed, and they keep glancing at their watch. These non-verbal signals suggest they might not be as enthusiastic as their words indicate. Or picture this. You're at a party, and someone is giving you a big, toothy grin while complimenting your outfit. But their handshake is limp. Their eyes dart around the room, and they seem eager to move on to the next conversation. Despite their friendly words, their body is telling you that they're not that interested. The Stoics understood that these nonverbal cues are like clues in a detective story. They can help us uncover hidden emotions, motivations, and even potential deceptions. By paying attention to these subtle signals, we can navigate social situations with greater awareness and avoid being misled by false appearances. So, the next time you're interacting with someone, don't just listen to their words. Watch their body language too. Notice their posture, facial expressions, and gestures. Do they match up with what they're saying? Or is there a disconnect? A subtle betrayal of the body can reveal a deeper truth. one that words alone might conceal. Remember, the body doesn't lie. It's a mirror reflecting our inner thoughts and feelings, even when we try to conceal them. By learning to read this language, we can gain a deeper understanding of the people around us and make more informed choices about our relationships. As the modern Stoic philosopher William B. Irvin puts it, we can improve our lives dramatically if we become more adept at recognizing when other people are trying to manipulate us. So, keep your eyes open, trust your gut, and let body language reveal the hidden truths. Lesson 4. The poisons of comparison, keeping up with the Joneses and the Kardashians. We live in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough, not rich enough, not successful enough, not pretty enough. Social media feeds us a never-ending stream of highlight reels, making it all too easy to fall into the trap of comparison. And that, my friends, is where the poison of envy starts to seep in. The Stoics, those wise philosophers from ancient times, understood the dangers of comparison. Seneca, the Roman philosopher and playwright, warned us, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. In other words, we create our suffering by comparing ourselves to others and imagining that their lives are somehow better than ours. Envy is a sneaky little emotion. It can start with a harmless glance at someone else's Instagram feed and quickly spiral into a full-blown case of keeping up with the Joneses or the Kardashians, depending on your social circle. Suddenly, we're obsessing over the latest gadgets, designer clothes, and exotic vacations, all because we think those things will make us happy or somehow more worthy. But here's the Stoic truth bomb. True happiness comes from within, not from external possessions or achievements. As Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote in his Meditations, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So how do we break free from the poisonous grip of comparison? First, we need to recognize the signs of envy in ourselves. Do we feel a pang of resentment when we see someone else succeed? Do we find ourselves constantly measuring our worth against others? Second, we need to practice gratitude for what we do have. Instead of focusing on what we lack, let's appreciate the good things in our lives, our health, our loved ones, our unique talents, and our experiences. Finally, let's shift our focus from external validation to internal growth. Let's strive to become the best versions of ourselves, not by imitating others, but by cultivating our virtues and pursuing our passions. Remember, the only person you should be competing with is yourself. As the modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci puts it, the goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than you used to be. Let's ditch the comparison game and embrace our unique journeys. Let's celebrate our successes and those of others without falling into the trap of envy. True happiness and fulfillment come from living a life of purpose and integrity, not from trying to keep up with an impossible standard. As the Stoics would say, let's focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and let go of the rest. Because in the end, the only comparison that truly matters is the one between who we are today and who we strive to become tomorrow. Lesson 5. The seeds of discord, drama queens, gossip mongers, and the Stoic shield. Ever known someone who seems to thrive on drama? They're always whispering secrets, stirring up trouble, and pitting people against each other. It's exhausting, right? That's the classic sower of discord, someone who plants seeds of negativity and watches them grow into full-blown conflict. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who were all about keeping it real, had a lot to say about this kind of behavior. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, once said, The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I control. In other words, we can't control what other people say or do, but we can control how we react to it. When it comes to dealing with drama queens and gossip mongers, the Stoic approach is all about maintaining inner peace and refusing to get sucked into their negativity vortex. Think about that coworker who's always spreading rumors about everyone in the office. They might try to get you to join in, sharing juicy tidbits about your colleagues' personal lives or complaining about their work performance. The Stoic response would be to politely decline, change the subject, or simply walk away. Or maybe you have a friend who's constantly creating drama in your social circle. They might play people against each other, exaggerate conflicts, or even invent stories to keep things interesting. The Stoic approach would be to set boundaries, limit your interactions with them, and focus on building relationships with people who bring positivity and harmony into your life. The Stoics understood that negativity is contagious. If we surround ourselves with people who thrive on drama and conflict, we're likely to get caught up in their toxic energy. But if we choose to cultivate relationships with people who value honesty, integrity, and mutual respect, we create a social environment that supports our well-being and fosters genuine connection. So the next time you encounter a sower of discord, remember the Stoic wisdom. Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Don't let their negativity drag you down or tempt you to participate in their drama. Instead, choose to rise above it. Maintain your inner peace and surround yourself with people who lift you and inspire you to be your best self. As the modern Stoic philosopher Ryan Holiday puts it, the person you spend the most time with is yourself. So make sure you're in good company. Choose your friends wisely, cultivate positive relationships, and let the seeds of discord fall on barren ground. Lesson 6. The Siren Song of Flattery. When sweet talk turns sour. Ever been buttered up so much that you felt like a pancake? Flattery can be intoxicating, like a siren song, luring you toward rocky shores. It feels good to be praised and admired, but the Stoics warn us to be wary of excessive flattery. It can be a tool of manipulation, a way to gain your trust, or exploit your kindness. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor-philosopher, had a no-nonsense approach to this. He said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, focus on your actions and character, not on the empty praise of others. Think about that new acquaintance who seems a little too eager to be your best friend. They're constantly showering you with compliments, telling you how amazing, talented, and brilliant you are. It might feel good at first, but eventually you start to wonder what their angle is. Are they genuinely impressed, or are they trying to get something from you? Or maybe you've experienced a boss who overdoes the praise before asking you to take on an extra project or work overtime. It's like they're trying to sweet-talk you into doing something you might not otherwise agree to. The Stoics believe that true compliments are specific and sincere. They focus on your actions and character, not on empty flattery or exaggerated praise. As Epictetus said, if someone praises you for something you lack, consider it an insult. So how do we navigate the treacherous waters of flattery? First, trust your gut. If someone's praise feels excessive or insincere, it probably is. Second, pay attention to their actions. Do they follow through on their promises? Do they treat you with respect, even when you're not around? Finally, remember that your self-worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. As the modern Stoic philosopher William B. Irvine puts it, The more we seek the respect of others, the less respect we have for ourselves. So the next time someone starts laying on the flattery thick, take a step back and ask yourself, what's their motivation? Are they trying to manipulate me? Or are they genuinely appreciative? By staying grounded in Stoic principles and trusting your judgment, you can avoid the siren song of flattery and build relationships based on authenticity and mutual respect. Remember, true friends and colleagues will appreciate you for who you are, not for the inflated image they're trying to create. So keep your head up, stay true to yourself, and don't let the sweet talk lead you astray. Lesson 7. Diminishing your light. The dimmer switch of envy. Ever felt like someone was trying to dim your shine? You know, you're excited about something you've achieved, but instead of genuine celebration, you get a lukewarm response or a backhanded compliment that leaves you feeling deflated. That's the dimming of your light, a tactic often used by envious individuals to downplay your accomplishments and make themselves feel better. The Stoics, those wise philosophers from ancient times, were all about recognizing and embracing your worth. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who overcame immense challenges in his own life, famously said, "The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it." In other words, don't let anyone dim your light or convince you to settle for less than you deserve. Envy can be a powerful and destructive force. It can lead people to downplay your achievements, attribute your success to luck, or even try to sabotage your efforts. They might say things like, "Oh, you got that promotion? Must have been the right place at the right time." Or, "Sure, you won the award, but everyone knows the competition wasn't that tough." These comments are designed to make you doubt yourself and question your accomplishments. But the Stoics would advise you to rise above these petty attempts to diminish your light. They believed that your worth is not determined by others' opinions, but by your actions and character. So how do you protect yourself from the dimmer switch of envy? First, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of the other person's insecurities, not a true assessment of your worth. Second, don't let their negativity affect you. Stay focused on your goals and keep striving for excellence. Finally, surround yourself with people who genuinely support and celebrate your success. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In other words, don't stoop to their level. Instead, continue to shine brightly and pursue your ambitions with confidence and integrity. This year, the Stoics teach us to find validation from within, not from external sources. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." This wisdom reminds us not to let naysayers or energy vampires steal our joy or make us doubt our abilities. How can we protect ourselves from those who try to dim our light? 8. Recognize the signs. Pay attention to how people react to your successes. Do they offer genuine congratulations and support, or do they try to minimize your achievements or attribute them to external factors? Second, remember that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. You know how hard you've worked, the sacrifices you've made, and the challenges you've overcome. Don't let anyone else's negativity diminish the pride you feel in your accomplishments. Finally, surround yourself with people who lift you and celebrate your successes. True friends and mentors will shine their light on you, encouraging you to reach your full potential. As the modern Stoic philosopher Ryan Holiday says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose your company wisely and make sure they're adding to your light, not dimming it. Remember, your light is precious. It represents your unique talents, passions, and contributions to the world. Don't let anyone extinguish it. Keep shining brightly and let your light inspire others to do the same. The Stoics also offer guidance on trust and reliability, two key pillars of any meaningful relationship. We've all been there, dealing with a friend who's always flaky, canceling plans at the last minute, or a coworker who promises to help but conveniently forgets when the deadline looms. It's frustrating and can leave you feeling like you're building relationships on shaky ground. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who were all about living a virtuous life, had a lot to say about trust and reliability. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor-philosopher, famously wrote, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." This doesn't mean we shouldn't make plans or have goals, but it does remind us to focus on the present moment and the actions we can take now to build a good life. Part of building a good life is cultivating relationships with people we can count on. The Stoics believed that true friendship is based on virtue and acting for the common good, being there for each other through thick and thin, and keeping our word even when it's inconvenient. But let's face it, not everyone lives up to the Stoic ideal. We encounter people who make promises they don't keep, who offer excuses instead of solutions, and whose words don't match their actions. It's like trying to build a sandcastle on shifting sands. It might look impressive for a moment, but it's bound to crumble sooner or later. So how do we navigate this tricky terrain of trust and reliability? First, pay attention to patterns. Is someone consistently flaky or unreliable? Do they make promises they don't keep? If so, it might be a sign that they're not prioritizing your relationship or respecting your time. Second, remember that actions speak louder than words. Don't just listen to what people say. Observe what they do. Do their actions align with their promises? Are they consistently there for you, or do they only show up when it's convenient for them? Finally, don't be afraid to set boundaries and protect your well-being. If someone's unreliability is causing you stress or anxiety, it's okay to distance yourself or limit your interactions with them. As Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Surround yourself with people who value honesty, integrity, and follow-through. These are the people who will build you up, not let you down. They're the solid foundation upon which you can build lasting and meaningful relationships. Remember, trust is like a precious vase. It takes time and care to build, but it can be shattered in an instant. Choose your friends and partners wisely. Nurture those connections with honesty and reliability, and don't waste your time on those who treat your trust like a disposable commodity. As the modern Stoic philosopher Fumio Sasaki puts it, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. So let's rise above the flakiness and broken promises and strive to be the kind of people we want to attract into our lives. People who are dependable, trustworthy, and true to their word. 9. Needy heart and the validation trap. A common struggle in today's world. We all crave connection and belonging. It's human nature to want to be liked, appreciated, and accepted. But when that desire for validation becomes all-consuming, it can lead us down a slippery slope of people-pleasing, insecurity, and even manipulation. The Stoics, who were all about inner strength and self-reliance, had a lot to say about this. Epictetus, the no-nonsense Stoic teacher, warned us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, don't let your need for external validation dictate your actions or compromise your values. Think about that friend who's always seeking approval, constantly fishing for compliments and changing their opinions to fit in with the crowd. They might agree with you, even when they disagree, just to avoid conflict or rejection. Or maybe you've encountered the social media addict who's obsessed with likes and comments, their self-esteem rising and falling with each notification. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By embracing this Stoic wisdom, we can free ourselves from the validation trap and find true self-love. Let your light shine brightly, grounded in the knowledge that your worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. Breaking free from the validation trap and cultivating a healthy sense of self-worth begins with recognizing our neediness. Do we constantly seek reassurance from others? Do we feel anxious or insecure when we don't receive praise or attention? Acknowledging these tendencies is the first step toward change. To build a more resilient self-worth, practice self-compassion and acceptance. Instead of harshly judging ourselves for our imperfections, we should embrace our flaws and celebrate our strengths. As the modern Stoic philosopher Christine Neff puts it, self-compassion involves giving ourselves the same kindness and care we would offer to a good friend. By treating ourselves with understanding and support, we shift the focus from seeking external validation to nurturing our self-esteem. 10. Developing inner strength and resilience. Another crucial aspect. This involves defining our values, pursuing our passions, and making choices that align with our authentic selves. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True confidence arises from knowing who we are and what we stand for, not from the continual need for external approval. By cultivating self-love and inner strength, we can build relationships based on genuine connection and mutual respect, rather than people-pleasing. To further break free from the validation trap, we should embrace our unique individuality. True happiness and fulfillment come from living a life of authenticity and purpose, not from chasing after the ever-elusive approval of others. As the Stoics would advise, focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and let go of what you cannot. The only validation that truly matters is the one we give ourselves. In addition to self-worth, the Stoics also valued the role of intuition in decision-making. Have you ever experienced that gut feeling, a subtle instinct that something might not be right? This is the whisper of intuition, an instinctive knowing that often defies logic and reason. While the Stoics emphasized logic and reason, they also recognized the importance of intuition in navigating life's complexities. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, suggested that our greatest danger is not aiming too high and missing it, but rather aiming too low and reaching it. This highlights the need to balance our logical assessments with intuitive insights. Ignoring your gut feeling can lead to regret. For example, consider a time when you went on a date with someone who seemed perfect on paper, but was incompatible with your values, or accepted a job offer that looked great but did not fit with the company culture. These experiences underscore the value of intuition as a guide in our decision-making process. By paying attention to these subtle signals, we can make more informed choices and avoid unnecessary heartache. Cultivating and trusting intuition involves creating space for inner listening. Meditation, mindfulness practices, or simply spending time in nature can help us tune into our inner wisdom. Additionally, paying attention to physical sensations such as a gut feeling or tightness in the chest, can provide powerful indicators of whether something feels right or wrong. Learning to trust ourselves and distinguishing between genuine intuitive signals and mere noise is a skill that improves with practice. The modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci suggests that the more we practice listening to our intuition, the better we become at interpreting these subtle cues. Combining intuition with reason allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater confidence and clarity. So, the next time you feel a whisper in your gut, pay attention and trust your instincts. Sometimes the most profound truths are found not in the loud pronouncements of the world, but in the whispers of our intuition. Lastly, the Stoic art of sharing wisdom wisely emphasizes the importance of choosing confidants carefully. We all have moments when we need to share our joys or struggles with someone. However, not everyone deserves access to our inner world. Seneca cautioned that we often suffer more from imagination and fear than from reality. This wisdom applies to sharing our vulnerabilities as well. Imagine confiding in a friend about a personal struggle, only to discover that they've been gossiping or using your vulnerability against you. Such betrayals can be painful and make us hesitant to trust again. The Stoics believed that true friendships are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Sharing wisdom wisely requires discernment and careful consideration of whom we confide in. The Stoic art of cultivating healthy relationships. Navigating the intricate dynamics of relationships often feels like tending to a complex garden. As Epictetus wisely noted, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This principle guides us in selecting confidants who foster our growth, while also teaching us how to navigate the delicate balance of sharing and protecting ourselves. 11. The delicate balance of sharing. In our quest to maintain meaningful connections, we must carefully consider who we choose to confide in. Begin by paying attention to your audience. Assess their past behavior. Have they demonstrated trustworthiness and empathy, or is there a history of gossip and betrayal? Stoic reasoning encourages us to weigh the potential risks and benefits of sharing sensitive information. By considering these factors, we align our choices with wisdom rather than impulsiveness. Remember, you retain control over what you share and how you share it. While you cannot control others' reactions or their use of the information you provide, exercising discretion minimizes potential negative consequences. Clear and concise communication is crucial. Avoid oversharing or revealing unnecessary details that could lead to misunderstandings or be exploited. Stoics valued clarity, not only in the content of their messages, but also in the context of their delivery. Practicing this form of discretion helps protect yourself from negative influences and fosters trust with those who genuinely deserve it. By sharing your vulnerabilities with those who will cherish rather than exploit them, you build stronger, more meaningful relationships founded on trust and mutual respect. Genuine connections are built on honesty and shared vulnerability, but they thrive on discernment. 12. Setting boundaries, the Stoic approach. The importance of setting boundaries cannot be overstated. We all encounter individuals who drain our energy, whether through incessant complaining, emotional baggage, or overstepping personal lines. Such encounters can leave us feeling depleted, as though we're constantly giving away pieces of ourselves without reciprocal support. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, understood that while we cannot control others' actions, we can control our reactions and set limits to safeguard our well-being. Setting boundaries is not about selfishness or lack of care. Instead, it is about recognizing your own needs and limits and communicating them clearly and assertively. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized the power we hold over our minds and reactions. By understanding this, we find the strength to set and maintain our boundaries. Start by identifying your needs and deal breakers. Determine what behavior you cannot tolerate and what situations drain your energy or cause resentment. Once you have clarity on your limits, communicate them effectively. Be assertive when necessary. Don't shy away from saying no when someone's request compromises your boundaries. Consistency is key. Adhere to your boundaries and resist guilt-tripping or manipulation attempts. Remember, setting boundaries is an ongoing process. As relationships evolve or new situations arise, you may need to adjust your boundaries. This is not only acceptable, but essential for maintaining healthy interactions. As Ryan Holiday, a modern Stoic philosopher, aptly puts it, the first step to setting boundaries is to realize you have a right to them. Protect your energy and create an environment where you can thrive. Boundaries should be seen not as walls, but as fences defining your personal space, fostering a healthy environment for relationships to flourish. Embrace the Stoic art of saying no, protect your emotional well-being, and cultivate relationships based on mutual respect. 13. Cultivating the garden. Nurturing healthy relationships. Envision your social circle as a garden. Within it, you have a variety of plants, some vibrant and blooming, others prickly or even toxic. The Stoics, who prized living in harmony with nature, believed that nurturing a thriving social garden is vital for a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom extends to our relationships. Rather than fixating on how others should behave, we should focus on cultivating our virtue and creating an environment where healthy connections can flourish. Imagine your garden filled with vibrant flowers, fragrant herbs, and sturdy trees. Each element represents the diverse relationships in your life. Some will bring joy and support, while others might test your patience or require more careful tending. The key is to cultivate and nurture those connections that enhance your life, while addressing or removing those that impede your growth. By focusing on your virtues and the quality of your relationships, you create a supportive network where healthy connections thrive. This requires effort and self-awareness, but it also leads to richer, more fulfilling interactions. Just as a well-tended garden flourishes, so too will your relationships if you invest in them wisely and with intention. In our lives, relationships play a crucial role, much like the plants in a garden. The positive relationships, those friends who uplift and inspire us, mentors who guide us, and loved ones who provide unwavering support, can be compared to a beautiful garden. These connections nurture our growth and enrich our lives, creating a vibrant and flourishing social environment. However, just as even the most vibrant gardens have their share of weeds, our social lives also include toxic relationships that can drain our energy, create unnecessary drama, or undermine our well-being. To cultivate a thriving social garden, it's essential to be as deliberate as a gardener. The Stoics believed that true friendships are grounded in shared values, mutual respect, and a commitment to the common good. They understood that healthy relationships require effort, much like a garden needs regular watering, weeding, and pruning. To build and maintain these positive relationships, we must be intentional about the people we choose to surround ourselves with. Start by planting the right seeds. Surround yourself with individuals who embody virtues you admire: honesty, integrity, kindness, and compassion. Seek out people who inspire you to be your best self and challenge you to grow. Just as a gardener selects the seeds that will thrive in their environment, choose friends and mentors who will positively influence your life and contribute to your personal development. Nurture these relationships with care and attention. Much like plants need sunlight and water, friendships require regular communication, shared experiences, and genuine support. Make time for the people who matter to you and show them that you appreciate their presence in your life. Building and maintaining strong connections involves effort and dedication, but the rewards are truly worth it. Investing in these relationships helps create a supportive and enriching social environment that benefits everyone involved. On the flip side, be prepared to address the weeds in your social garden. Toxic relationships, much like invasive weeds, can disrupt your well-being and hinder your growth. If someone consistently brings negativity, drama, or disrespect into your life, it's important to set boundaries or even walk away if necessary. Remember, your social garden is a reflection of your well-being. By removing toxic influence, you create a space where you can thrive and maintain a healthier, more positive social environment. The Stoics recognized that true friendships and relationships are not about creating a perfect, trouble-free existence, but about cultivating wisdom, resilience, and genuine connection. As modern Stoic philosopher Massimo Pigliucci puts it, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. This perspective emphasizes the importance of nurturing positive connections and addressing negative ones with intention and care. To further guide your journey, consider the wisdom of Seneca, who said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This principle applies not only to dealing with anger, but also to envy and falsehood. Take a moment to observe, reflect, and choose your response wisely before letting negativity affect your inner peace. By practicing these Stoic principles, you can build a stronger sense of self, foster more authentic relationships, and navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Creating a thriving social garden doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and a lot of love. But the rewards are immeasurable. A vibrant, flourishing ecosystem that nourishes your soul and brings joy to your life. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, be the gardener of your own life. Plant seeds of kindness, water them with compassion, and watch your inner strength bloom. In conclusion, cultivating a positive social environment involves intentionality, nurturing, and sometimes making tough choices. By applying these Stoic strategies, you can build meaningful connections and create a space where you can thrive. Keep those Stoic vibes high, and remember, virtue is its reward. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, let's continue to tend to our social gardens with care and purpose.